Hey friends, welcome back to the channel with more Westworld. This is Season 2, Episode 2, and last we left off, we still don't know what happened to Charlotte Hale. Bernard took responsibility for a host of dead hosts. I'm not totally convinced that they're dead just yet. Maybe they're just floating there pretending to be dead. But yeah, we got some questions we need answering. Still want to see what happens with all these other parks. I hope we get into them a little bit. Maeve was taking control of Sizemore. That was a lot of fun to watch. But anyway, we're gonna get started. If you want to watch the full reaction, you can check out Patreon in the link in the description below. Otherwise, let's get started.
You're in...
No.
Well... You're in our world.
Is she ready?
They brought her out.
Not ready. Let's take a walk.
Very
show you something.
So she'll remember this. She'll remember being on the outside. Huh. I like that they did that before the regular intro. He escaped? I thought he...
Busy night out there.
Yeah. And where the fuck's next shift? We're going on 13 hours here.
Don't you know? The hosts are rebelling. It's a fucking slaughter up there.
Hey! Hey, is there some kind of trouble out there?
Indeed there is.
You have no idea what you're up against. What's really out there?
She's out here. He didn't recognize her when he went to the park.
Mr. Delos, my associate Angelo. Names and faces. Finally. With all the cloak and dagger shit surrounding your project, I half expected to be kidnapped at the airport.
The time he first finds out about the hosts.
I thought this was a private demonstration.
It is.
I think you'll find the company quite stimulating.
You mean one of these people is...
All of them.
Talk to them. See if you can pick them out.
Well,
We should tell your plants to stop giving the game away. They're also painfully human. No way.
wait, so all of them are human except for her? Or I don't know. Okay.
Of course, if you want my full endorsement,
You'll let me fuck it.
you're gonna have to prove it.
Welcome to Westworld.
Yeah.
Show him. Show him his history.
He's died so many times.
Why?
For our amusement.
Why do you do this? I didn't.
What the hell is this place? For fun. Just for fun.
And to think, I thought he might not want to kill all the humans. Lawrence?
Yeah, we should talk this through, boys.
Jeez. And he's here to save the day again. Careful now, they can kill you this time.
I don't have time for the preliminaries.
Motherfucker.
Get the gun, you ingrate! Get the gun!
He's having so much fun with this. He's making friends here with the hosts. With non-sentient, non-totally sentient hosts.
You're not really a bandit.
You're a foul-mouthed two-bit tour guide. And this revolution you've been waging for 30 years is just a bunch of horse shit forged up by some old comic book. This whole enterprise is going down in flames. It's gonna take each and every one of us with it. We'll all be dead soon enough. And in the little time we have left, we've got a chance to see what we're really made of. A glimpse of the men we could have been. You believe in God, Lawrence? Did Ford saddle you with that particular affliction?
I get.
That's why your world exists. They wanted a place hidden from God, but we were watching them. Judgment wasn't the point. We had something else in mind entirely.
Is it my theory of copying humans?
I have received my judgment all the same, Lawrence, and I take issue with it. So I'm gonna fight my way back and appeal the verdict. Then I'm gonna burn this whole fucking thing to the ground.
The only other route is through Pariah.
Of course it
This
is.
game will find me.
You don't know, do you? The real purpose of this place? But I do.
Don't mind me. Just trying to look chivalrous.
Do they remember these parts when they're frozen? Who's this?
The whole thing is folly.
It's leverage. He's drowning. We can dictate our terms. The investment here is in the future. You're right, this place is a fantasy. Nothing here is real, except one thing. The guests. This is the only place in the world where you get to see people for who they really are.
He pitched it as a
If
marketing
you don't see the business in
research.
that, then you're not the businessman that I thought you were.
Oh,
You're the cheeky little cunt.
yeah.
Okay. Talk to me. I'm listening.
Oh.
Hello, lovelies. Well, best of luck. There's a war out there.
Try it, lawman.
Yeah, Sizemore. I just realized that's Sizemore.
Since it's liberty you're defending, I suppose you'll have no choice but to let us pass.
Now, you have to forgive my men. They're a little upset at the reappearance of Lieutenant Dunleavy.
We want to join forces. You're bound for glory.
What the fuck is it you think you know about glory?
I know you'll never make it there unless you're under my command. They don't know any better. It's in their nature.
Oh man. Now we'll wake them up.
We have toiled in God's service long enough. So I killed him.
You are beautiful.
Why, thank you. What's your name?
This is some much appreciated backstory. At this point, she's already killed
Have you
Arnold.
ever seen anything so full of splendor?
Logan? Recognize her?
It's you. That, darling, is the sound of fools fiddling while the whole fucking species starts to burn.
Oh wait,
And why have two ghosts come creeping among the dead?
it's Gus Fring.
You want a real victory? I can help with that.
I won't be going with you. My labors are done.
You may have lost your nerve. I'll take your men either way.
This game was meant for you, William. But you must play it alone.
Oh, what?
I'll see you in the valley beyond, William.
Fuck you, Robert. I built it. And this place we're going is my greatest mistake.
Bring yourself back online, Dolores. You really are just a thing. I can't believe I fell in love with you. Have you ever seen anything so full of splendor? I can imagine the Colonel would be very happy to see his men riding with us ahead of him.
So he'll change his mind. Doesn't matter what you call it, I know we're going to find there. An old friend was foolish enough to show me. It's a weapon. And I'm gonna use it to destroy them.
Okay. Alright. So after the first episode, I was a little unsure about the season, but I'm sold. I am sold. That was great. After a first episode that didn't immediately grab me, this one was really great. It's a flashback to an older time that I'm not entirely sure how much it'll add to the story going forward, but it's just a complete joy to watch. Fantastic seeing Dolores be amazed by the sight of the lights, so full of splendor. Arnold was saying how he had seen it before, but it's better to see things through her eyes, and that you get used to it after a while and it doesn't look like anything at all, which is very similar to It Doesn't Look Like Anything to Me. I feel like the show is definitely trying to say something here. I mean, first of all, it is often when you're young, when you're innocent, possibly naive, when humans have the reaction that Dolores does. The fact that she repeats the line that it's so full, have you ever seen anything so full of splendor before, later on, is proof that she isn't sentient in that moment. So it's possibly saying that there's something core to the human experience, that we see the same things over and over again eventually and view it as doesn't look like anything at all. Even if the show isn't saying it, I'll say it. It feels like it's telling us that becoming jaded is a crucial part of being a human being of sentience, which is honestly kind of sad. Really interesting to see Logan again. I thought his story was done. I thought we'd just drop him after William took control. But we got to see him seeing the host for the first time. That was an incredible scene. Again, don't know how important it is in the long run, but it's just so fun to watch. The show really knows how to do these big reveal moments. We see that woman who eventually welcomed William to Westworld. Logan trying to figure out who in the crowd is a host and who isn't. That was so much fun. I was trying to figure it out alongside him, and I mean, he thinks he figured it out with that woman, and he's so enthralled. But yeah, it turns out she baited him into thinking it was her, because she's too perfect, and then making everybody freeze. Really, really great presentation, and he's just baffled that we're at this level, technological level, that nobody has gotten there before. And of course, Logan goes on to have an orgy with all of them, which is so on brand for Logan. We see Teddy start to come to terms with who he is, what he is, and how his kind have been mistreated. He has a dark backstory, but we haven't really seen him as a super dark figure other than taking out the town where Arnold died, and he did that because he was ordered to. So yeah, I've been curious what his true nature would be. He's distraught seeing the piles of bodies, and he's rightfully angry for what has been done to the hosts. And then seeing his own past, his own deaths, must be super trippy. He gets a little violent with one of the texts, but actually like lets him go after a bit. I don't know. I feel like this might be a defining moment for him. It might have changed who he is a little bit, and I'm worried about what we'll see from him in the future. He is still, after all, a black hat. Don't know what that'll mean for him going forward. We got to meet James Delos for the first time in this episode, examining the park, thinking it's a bad investment until he's convinced otherwise by William. That line from the first season, I think it was said by Teresa, keeps coming back to me, how the park is something different to everybody. And for James Delos, it's a way to keep tabs on the humans that come in and do market research on them, because it's the only place where these rich people truly feel free. And I wonder what they could use this to sell, or what specific information they're looking for with these guests, or maybe they're just in it for selling data. That's worth something too as well. I wonder, I mean, you're allowed essentially to be whoever you want to be in this place, so I'm wondering how far they can go in the park. But yeah, we also see William pushing James Delos out. James mentions that the retirement party seems more like a coronation, and yeah, he's very sick and doesn't seem like he has much time. Don't know what the issue is there, but Dolores was at that party just playing piano, sees William with his whole life with Juliet, and of course she's not sentient in the moment, but she'll remember this when the time comes for sure. And yeah, she sees what Logan has become, taking drugs, just a broken man. Now I feel like for sure we're done with Logan, I think, because I don't know what else we could do with his story. But anyway, that scene where William puts Dolores into analysis mode, saying that she's just a thing, treating her like an object to be used and abused, and he fell in love with her. I mean, I don't know. He's so different from the man who came into the park that first time, and it's honestly chilling. I guess it's not so much that he changed, but that he was able to find out who he really was. That's what they've been advertising this as. And for some reason, he brings her to a huge area he's excavating, a project that he's working on in Westworld. Wonder what that could be, and why he felt it was important to show her. But yeah, William in the present also, again, saves Lawrence. Always, just best friends forever, except for that time he killed his wife. But it must feel so weird on some level, right? Like meeting someone who you have history with, who you've wronged, and they remember none of it, and you can use the information you have about them to manipulate them, and get them to do what you want, and like ally with them. I do like the grouping together, but it's kind of sick when you think about it. It's interesting because when I play I typically don't play video games like multiple times through, so I just choose my path and I stick with it. But for games that I do play, like I've been playing The Last of Us Part 2, and I mean, there's no branching storylines really. So that, I don't know, it feels, I don't often get to experience the idea of like going back and retrying a certain decision or something like that. Other than like Life is Strange, which I've only played twice, I think. But anyway, that's a whole different tangent. It turns out Lawrence did change narratives. I thought after last time that they were actually in the same narrative, but he's no longer El Lazo, and El Lazo is played by Gus frickin' Fring. Giancarlo Esposito. I've seen him in two things before this, Breaking Bad, of course, and a role in The Mandalorian, and he's so he has a very strong presence in his roles, and I really enjoy him. But yeah, there he was trying to run his fried chicken restaurant in Pariah, and William tried to get him to work with him, but Ford freaking shows up, creating that like circle of suicide to make William play this game alone. The game was meant for you, William, but you must play it alone. I mean, freaking Ford. But yeah, as he leaves, William says that he and Lawrence are headed to the place that is his biggest mistake. Seems like a connection to what he showed Dolores earlier, and yeah, just very curious what it is. But yeah, William says that he wants to destroy it, which she also mentioned that it was a weapon at the end of last episode, I think. So I wonder, yeah, I don't know what it is, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. Speaking of Dolores, though, that scene where she and Maeve cross paths is so fun. Dolores lets Maeve pass because she values the freedom for hosts that they finally have. So that's one line she won't cross, intruding on a host's ability to have freedom of choice and forge their own path. So it's good to know where the line is for her and how far she'll go, because, I mean, we see her ally with the Confederados, which is a line apparently she is willing to cross, working with them. Like, fighting on their side leaves a very bad taste. It would leave a very bad taste in my mouth. Like, technically they're not Confederates, they're hosts programmed to be Confederates and yada yada yada, but like, if you had me play in Westworld 100 different times, I would not side with them a single time. I guess unless it was to, like, infiltrate their ranks and, like, sabotage them. That could actually be a lot of fun. Maybe I would want to do that. Anyway, but yeah, obviously Dolores and other hosts don't have any real association between them and the Confederates. Like, I mean, I'm assuming in their past roles, in their past loops, they were part of the Union, but that's just the data coded into them. It doesn't seem like she harbors any animosity toward them for what they were programmed to do. And I guess allying with them, I guess in that situation, Dolores needed to take whatever friends you can find. But I'm curious if, because we don't really get a sense of what these Confederados are like, if after they've gained sentience, they no longer want to hold slaves, because they themselves, as hosts, are essentially being told what to do all the time and, like, programmed a certain way. Does that change the way the Confederados think? Because based on them themselves being controlled for so long. But yeah, I wonder if Dolores... Yeah, I wonder how this all plays together. But yeah, it was super compelling, though, watching Dolores kill all of them just to bring them back, just playing God, all to get her under her control. I mean, Dolores is honestly terrifying. Would not want to come across her in many situations. She was such a nice, like, innocent woman last season. But yeah, Evan Rachel Wood really gets to show off her range in the show. It's really impressive. But beyond having to pass as a human sometimes and pass for a host at other times, and then, like, switching her character up drastically after a season, it's really fun to see her at work. But yeah, I'm going to give this an episode a 9.25. I'm really glad we got some good backstory here. It made me feel more connected to our characters, and I feel like it adds more emotional weight to this season as well. I feel like this season is good in a different way than the first season. I appreciate it for different reasons, and yeah, I'm excited to continue. If you want to watch the full reaction, you can check out Patreon in the link in the description below. We're also a week ahead over there as well. Leave a like, really helps out the channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, friends.